And your match commentator, Phil Blacker.
Thank you, Chris. One to look forward to for people who love the game, said Arne Slot yesterday And few would disagree with that assessment. Two of the form teams in the tournament, both residing in the top 6 of the 36-team table after the first 3 match days. Liverpool one of only 2, along with Aston Villa, yet to drop a point. Leverkusen still unbeaten and only 2 points behind them. Now, before kick-off at all UEFA club competition matches this week, a moment of silence in memory of the victims of the deadly floods in Valencia and all those impacted in the region and beyond. An emotional occasion at Anfield for so many reasons this evening. So many narratives as well coming into this game, including, of course, the return of Xabi Alonso. Much of the build-up has centred around the Spaniard. Now the two teams take centre stage, and they have both made 2 changes from the weekend. Liverpool bringing in Curtis Jones for Dominic Szoboszlai and Luis Diaz for Darwin Núñez. It's the same 2 changes from the side that won at Leipzig in their previous Champions League game. As for Leverkusen, who drew 0-0 with Stuttgart in the Bundesliga last time out, Nordi Mukiele ruled out with a thigh injury. In comes Alex Garcia, and Ezequiel Palacios is preferred to Robert Andrich in the heart of their midfield. 5 changes in total from the 1-1 draw at Brest on match day 3 last time out in this competition. Danny Michele is the referee. He will get the action underway here. Leverkusen playing all in the white as we look at it from left to right in this first period. Liverpool, of course, all in red. A famous Anfield night in store, maybe, in the Champions League. They will certainly hope so. It has all the ingredients, Andy Prassel.
Yes, it really does, Phil. And Leverkusen will take this as a great yardstick. You know, they've started this season's UEFA Champions League as if they've been playing in it for years and years and years. Now they're playing against one of the perennials, one of the teams we expect to win every single season, or at least get to the very final stages. So a great measure for them.
Here goes Cody Gakpo looking to launch Liverpool's first attack of the game. In towards Luis Diaz, square ball from the left-hand side of the box in towards the middle. Leverkusen had enough back in white to deal with the danger immediately anyway, but Alexis McAllister winning it back for Liverpool. Little touch down the touchline from Trent Alexander-Arnold, back into his path again on the corner of the penalty area, but nicked away by Hincapié. And now Victor Boniface for Bayer Leverkusen, picking up possession on the halfway line and advancing into Liverpool territory down the Leverkusen left. So just to run you through the lineups in full: Kelleher in goal for Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold. Konate is fit to continue despite coming off with that wrist injury against Brighton at the weekend. Virgil van Dijk, who inadvertently inflicted that injury, alongside him at centre-back. Kostas Tsimikas continues ahead of Andy Robertson at left-back. Jones in for Szoboszlai alongside Gravenberch and McAllister in midfield. Salek, Gakpo and Luis Diaz, the front 3. Darwin Núñez dropping down to the bench. Leverkusen have it here on the halfway line with Alex Grimaldo. They have Radecki, the captain, in goal. Tapsoba, and Hincapié, the back 3. Frimpong in possession now, just on this near touchline. The Leverkusen right, reverting to that role, having played a bit further forward at the weekend. He's on the ball, advancing up towards the edge of the box. It good break for Boniface to swing his foot at it. Didn't catch it with conviction. Harmlessly behind it goes. Palacios and Xhaka in the heart of that midfield. Grimaldo on the left, Florian Wirtz and Alex Garcia, who comes into the team today with Victor Boniface up front. 6 goals for him in the Bundesliga so far this season, Andy, and an early sight of goal already, albeit not one that he made the most of.
Yeah, and you get the feeling, Phil, that Boniface is just so hungry for this season. Of course, injured towards the end of the winter break. He was going to be off at the African Cup of Nations anyway. Ended up missing nearly 4 months of the best season of Leverkusen's history, so he's keen to be at it again.
Mo Salah has it wide on the right-hand side for Liverpool. Yeah, Boniface making up for lost time, maybe, with the way that he started this season. Also a scorer in this competition for them. Got the winner against Milan on match day 2. Liverpool back on the ball. Konate To Virgil van Dijk. A relief for the Reds that Konate hasn't been sidelined with that injury. Did look concerning the way that he went off at the weekend, but scans showed no significant damage done, so he is cleared to continue alongside Virgil van Dijk at the heart of that Liverpool defence, with Kwame Kelleher clearing it away, continuing behind that back four, with Alisson Becker still sidelined through injury. Kelleher proving a very adept replacement recently, playing a home game in the Champions League in front of a crowd at Anfield for the first time tonight. Big moment for him, actually. He's only played here once before in this competition, behind closed doors in the COVID era, so this will be a different occasion altogether.
Yeah, there's no preparing yourself for Anfield, is there, Phil? Especially not on a night like this with Liverpool's rich history in the competition.
Well, he is determined to embrace. It will be pretty cool, is how he put it at the pre-match press conference yesterday. And he's certainly been a cool presence, a picture of composure, hasn't he, in that Liverpool goal since coming back into the team in recent weeks. They win it here with Curtis Jones to Liverpool, just inside the Leverkusen half. Cody Gakpo taking over, advancing up towards the edge of the D, gets his shot away right-footed, but by the time he did so, it was charged down, and Frimpong should be able to bring it clear, touching it into the path of Florian Wirtz for Leverkusen, one of their stars so far in this competition. 3 goals in his first 3 games in the Champions League for Florian Wirtz. Wide on that left-hand side now is Victor Boniface, advancing into the penalty area, just overrunning it a little bit as Liverpool got back to him quickly. Decent tempo, of course, it was always likely to be. 4.5 minutes in, 0-0.
Yeah, great watch thus far. First goal of the late fixtures has gone to Manchester City and Phil Foden, who robbed the ball after a good press and then kept on moving towards the edge of the box. Left-footed finish beyond the despairing dive of the goalkeeper. So Sporting 0, Man City 1 in Ruben Amorim's final home match in charge of Sporting. That is the only goal in the late fixtures. Earlier, there were wins for PSV and for Dinamo Zagreb in the new league phase.
5 minutes in at Anfield, and very briefly, Xabi Alonso was back on the ball, just holding it on the edge of his technical area before Jeremy Frimpong waits to take this throw that will follow. Alonso, a Liverpool player between 2004 and 2009, 210 appearances for the club. Back with Leverkusen tonight, but his team on the back foot a little bit here. This is Mo Salah in full flight for Liverpool, up towards Luis Diaz on the edge of the penalty area, and it will be cleared away by Hincapié over there into a little bit of space infield for Florian Wirtz. That space didn't last long. Snapping into the challenge was Trent Alexander-Arnold, who concedes the throw-in the process. Just looking at the rather fluent Liverpool front three, Andy, with Darwin Núñez making way to the bench today. There's not an obvious starting centre forward. We thought probably it would be Cody Gakpo, but it appears Luis Diaz is rather more central at the moment, as he is right now on the ball, slipping it to his left. Full Gakpo, left-footed shot blocked away, almost fell for Salah inside the penalty area, just chested back to Radetzky in the end. But there is that Liverpool front three right on cue, interchanging as the game goes on, I guess.
Yeah, there is, and as Leverkusen, I think, develop more of an understanding of how Liverpool are going to play as the game goes on. We're seeing Granit Xhaka already, aren't we, Phil, sort of dropping in as almost an extra centre-back, sweeping up.
With plenty of previous playing at Anfield as well. Granit Xhaka from his Arsenal days. Mixed fortunes is how he described it of his previous experiences here, but he's been trying to fill in his teammates who haven't played here before what to expect. Leverkusen looking to settle into the game. Nearly 7 minutes in. They have it down their right-hand side. Palacios going infield. Touch on the halfway line for Edmund Tapsoba. A little further forward was Granit Xhaka inside the centre circle. Wirtz taking over, and now options on the ball for Granit Xhaka. Switching it to his left, and the Ecuadorian, Piero Hincapié, patient and probing in possession. Leverkusen here, Alex Garcia getting involved as well, the new signing for this season from Gerona, as Leverkusen look to build on that remarkable campaign that they had under Xabi Alonso last season. That unbeaten league-winning team in the Bundesliga got so close to going through the entirety of the campaign without tasting defeat, didn't they, until the Europa League final. They haven't lost an away game in 32 matches since the final day of the 2022-23 season, remarkably. They have it here, and they have had it for the last minute or so, in and around the Liverpool half, without quite being able to conjure anything from that. Granit Xhaka's ball in comfortably cleared away. Liverpool looking for Mo Salah. Not quite with the precision this time to find him, but Salah's been in such fabulous form, of course, at the start of the season. Tsimikas winning the header there, up against Jeremy Frimpong. First back to his feet as it breaks for Virgil van Dijk. He will ping it long, right-footed, up towards Mo Salah, who will reach it first, just ahead of Hincapié, who he's running at now on the edge of the penalty area. There's support from Curtis Jones. Back in field to Salah, who didn't have a lot of time on the ball. The challenge is flying in. It was a good one on that occasion by Ezequiel Palacios, the Argentinian, brought in today to maybe add that little physical presence in the midfield as well, to try and wrestle control of the game. Easier said than done coming here, but Leverkusen with plenty of the ball early on.
Yeah, that's right, and they do like to dominate possession, Phil. I think it's interesting, as you say, the changes that Xabi Alonso has made are mainly to the midfield. He can't really make any defensive changes because he doesn't have any other fit defenders at the moment. No other defenders on the bench, but when you've got defenders who can bring it forward like Emmanuel Frimpong,
exactly as he's doing here, Frimpong with the ball in down that right-hand side, across the edge of the penalty area. Liverpool defended it well, and they clear it back to Edmund Tapsoba. And back into Leverkusen territory. Referee McAley just stepping in here because Konate had gone down during that particular passage of play. Pretty swiftly back on his feet again, though. It's he that was trying to cut out the cross when it came from Jeremy Frimpong. Took a painful blow in the process, but he put himself in the right place there, did Konate, to deal with the danger. And he has again seemingly re-established himself as the first choice partner, hasn't he, this season for Virgil van Dijk?
Yeah, he has, and you know, someone with an enormous amount of confidence, of course, put himself forward as being France captain, or at least possibly being France captain when Kylian Mbappe was out in the last international window. But you know, there's never been any doubt about his quality. And gradually, of course, Liverpool will have to evolve that back four with Virgil van Dijk getting a bit older. Although no suggestion yet that Liverpool can do without him, of course.
Not yet. He's been as important as ever, hasn't he? As has Mo Salah. And Liverpool hoping, I'm sure, to tie up new contracts for those two, both in the last year of their current deals, as Alexander-Arnold plays this one forward down the line, asking Salah to chase it. Hincapié went with him and then just got a little shove in the back from Mo Salah, who protests his innocence, but that one was always going to be given. The foul on the Ecuadorian, a Leverkusen ball just inside their own penalty area. He put the brakes on first, did Hincapié, and Salah couldn't quite react quickly enough to stop himself careering into the back of the defender. So not much in it in the opening 10 minutes. These sides having met just 4 times previously. Liverpool 3 wins to Leverkusen's 1. Last meeting in the round of 16 in this competition, all the way back in 2005. Liverpool 3-1 winners home and away on that occasion. But they were put out of the quarter-finals by Leverkusen on aggregate in 2002. Those 2 ties, the extent of their previous meetings until today. Another reason maybe why this is such a much anticipated tie.
Yeah, it is, and you know, I think really this was the Europa League final that a lot of people were hoping for last year. Didn't end up happening in the end, and Leverkusen didn't quite get there. But yeah, there is just a sense of intrigue about this, especially with how strong Leverkusen have been since Xabi Alonso arrived. He's done incredible things in his just over 2 years that he's been at the club, and you can legitimately talk about them being one of the best teams in Europe. I mean, Chris was saying earlier about how we're getting the bigger ties earlier in this new UEFA Champions League format, and I guess this is a great example of this.
Yeah, prime case in point, isn't it? These two in such fine form. You mentioned the record of Xabi Alonso. Since the start of last season, his first full season in charge, they've lost 2 of 68 games in the competitions, unbeaten away from home, not including, of course, that final on neutral territory against Atalanta. Remarkable record of consistency. And Liverpool back on the ball here on the halfway line with Curtis Jones, starting in the Champions League for the first time this season. Is Jones today? He's back from a little spell on the sidelines and back in favour at the moment, keeping Dominic Szoboszlai out of the side today. And it was a change that was predicted, really, given the form of Jones recently.
It was, but what choices to have for Arne Slot? You know, he's managing his resources superbly so far. There's no doubt about Liverpool's start of the season. But what resources they are. You know, it was interesting seeing a lot of Liverpool fans, particularly online, being really tense about Liverpool's perceived lack of activity in the transfer market as the summer transfer window was coming to a close. But I think it just has to be something you bear in mind, that how do you improve this Liverpool squad? It is not easy by any stretch of the imagination, because they've got depth all over.
It's a point that Arne Slot made in the summer when he was appointed, wasn't it? And the big new arrivals didn't really arrive. It was because simply it's so difficult to find players better than those already in situ, and real strength and depth in the squad. When you look at the bench, the free kick is conceded by Cody Gakpo just inside the Leverkusen half, but the likes of Szoboszlai, Darwin Núñez, Andy Robertson all held in reserve, and that's considering as well that Alisson and Chiesa and Elliott and Diego Jota all unavailable because of injury at the moment. Chase on the far side for Alex Grimaldo for Leverkusen. He's done well to keep it in play, he just couldn't quite pull it back for Hincapié. And Jones picking up possession on the corner of his own penalty area, turns in field and strides forward with intent, reaches midway inside his own half before playing the pass for Kostas Tsimikas. Forward down the line for Luis Diaz, lets it run across his body, and because of that he's taken Tapsoba out of the equation. Luis Diaz advancing up towards the edge of the penalty area, picks the pass to his right for Salah. Jones hits it, right-footed shot straight at Radetzky, gets down to make the save. Extended really for the first time with the effort on target from Liverpool, from Curtis Jones. Stays 0-0.
Terrific match this, goalless at Anfield. There has been a goal at the Bernabeu, and Milan lead at Real Madrid. Malik Thiaw with the header from a corner, although Kylian Mbappe is almost just equalised in that game. So Real Madrid 0, AC Milan 1. The only other goal in the late games is in Lisbon. Sporting 0, Manchester City 1. And as we've been mentioning earlier, big wins for PSV and for Dinamo Zagreb.
0-0 at Anfield, 14.5 minutes on the clock. Liverpool testing out Lukas Radetzky, a save that he was certainly expecting to make, and did, with the minimum of fuss. The Leverkusen captain back in their goal today. Kovac had deputised at Brest on match day 3 in that 1-1 draw. The only points that they've dropped actually so far in this league phase. Second against 6th at kickoff in the Champions League this season, in this new look 36-team league format. Both of these sides amongst the early pace setters. Not too much distance on Radetzky's clearance here, right-footed from about his own 6-metre area. Liverpool try and return it, but unable to find Mo Salah, who was the target. And now moving through the gears swiftly on that left-hand side, smoothly on that left-hand side, was Alex Grimaldo. Boniface drifting wider as well to get involved. He's back on the ball now and plays the pass infield towards Palacios. May yet break for Tapsoba. It does. He will have a go. Rasping right-footed effort, kept low, but not really with the power to extend Kelleher. And I guess that's one apiece now. One effort on target from outside the penalty area, and a comfortable save for each goalkeeper.
Yeah, it is. And we're seeing a visiting side that's much more comfortable on the ball and much more purposed on the ball than most teams that visit Anfield. So we can talk about Leverkusen adjusting to this competition as they're back in it for the first time in a while against one of the most experienced teams in it, one of the habituals. But for Liverpool, this is a bit of a change as well, to have, what, 43% of possession, quarter of an hour in, of a game at Anfield in the UEFA Champions League is something they're not used to at all.
And they try and redress that balance a little bit here. On the ball, Liverpool just inside their own half, with Kostas Tsimikas. Andy Robertson's minutes been managed a little bit at the moment at left back. Tsimikas taking his chance. Good ball from Van Dijk out towards that right-hand side, where it's brought under control by Salah. He does have support from Alexander-Arnold. Leverkusen doubling up on the Liverpool right back, but it broke back pretty favourably for Konate. And now Salah, dancing feet, finds Luis Diaz to have a hit, right-footed from just inside the penalty area. That's blocked away. It's Jonathan Tah that's able to head it clear. He got the initial block to it as well before completing the job. And Leverkusen now with possession back, albeit still level with the edge of their own penalty area as they try and get out. The ball slipped down the line, left-hand side. It was a good one in towards Florian Wirtz. Now Granit Xhaka in the centre circle, touching it forward first time. This is Frimpong. Almost up to the edge now of the Liverpool penalty area, advancing into the box here. Frimpong back for Xhaka to have a go, connected with power with the left foot, and that was a painful one for Virgil van Dijk because he was on the other end of it. He was in the way of it, importantly as it turned out, but at some potential personal cost to the Liverpool captain. He's gone down as a result of that. Little stoppage here at Anfield, 0-0.
Glorious move that was. Oh, my word, how has Virgil van Dijk got up so quickly, Andy Brassel, and just touches his ear as if that was nothing. It was a lethal shot from Granit Xhaka's left foot.
I mean, he knows how to hit a football. Imagine being in the way of that. But as you were saying, Chris, it's a fantastic move by Leverkusen. They've looked very, very confident in the early stages. But I think, Phil, what will really please Xabi Alonso in this opening 20 minutes is the quality of the defending. You know, they've looked really, really good, really secure at the back, despite Liverpool looking dangerous at moments. And both Alonso and Granit Xhaka have been openly quite critical of some of Leverkusen's defensive efforts so far this season. This is far more like it.
Said it, just the one goal, haven't they, in this competition so far through the first 3 league phase fixtures, and they've certainly settled to their task in that respect tonight as well, with the way that they have begun the game. Just a handball given here, forced by Alexis McAllister for Liverpool, hitting the Leverkusen hand, taken pretty quickly by those in red. Virgil van Dijk up towards that right-hand side, and Ryan Gravenberch who gets it back. Another who has so far impressed significantly in that more defensive-minded midfield role, maybe for Liverpool. It was a position that they were perhaps looking to recruit in the summer. They were linked with a number of players, but Gravenberch stepped in. He's been brilliant, hasn't he?
I mean, he's a great advert for FC Bayern München training, because he didn't play very much there, but he's arrived at Anfield and been a vastly improved player to the one that showed so much promise at Ajax. So I guess a little bit like Phil Foden, it goes to show you can improve without playing that many first-team games, perhaps, for a certain period in your career.
And now currently a regular for the Reds. As Leverkusen look for Boniface here, trying to collect it on the D, on the edge of the penalty area. His presence was important. Florian Wirtz looking to pick up the pieces. He gets on the end of the loose ball and he scoops it out to the right-hand side. And Palacios just slowing it down a little bit. Liverpool have reorganised with plenty back in red behind the ball, in and around their own penalty area here. There's a touch for Jonathan Tah joining in inside the Liverpool half, up from centre-back. And now Tapsoba to his right, doing likewise. They've worked this really well for Granit Xhaka, right-hand side of the penalty area, trying to cut that ball back where Boniface was in the middle. Frimpong was a potential target as well. Liverpool had to clear it. They did so quickly out for the throw, which is taken just as quickly by Granit Xhaka, as Leverkusen look to keep the tempo high here. It's a good spell for them. Tapsoba, infield to Palacios. Now Florian Wirtz, edge of the penalty area, might come for Frimpong, just in front of Virgil van Dijk there, and then goes down. Referee Danny McKelly had a look at it, shakes his head and waves it on. The Leverkusen appeals continue. It's a good little ball dinked into the path of Frimpong. Just got his foot to it first, but I don't think there was much in the contact, was there, from Van Dijk, as Frimpong went down. Found himself in a difficult position, Virgil van Dijk, as the foot came across and tried to pull it out of the way in time, I think. Maybe not helped by the reaction there, Jeremy Frimpong, as he went down. And the referee waves it on. Of
course, good friends from the Dutch national team. They might be having a few words about that on text over the coming days.
Well, they have been speaking before the game, said Frimpong to his Liverpool adversaries tonight, his international teammates when they were on duty last month for the Nations League, with the likes of Van Dijk and Gravenberch and Cody Gakpo as well, of course. Knows plenty of these Liverpool players well. There's Frimpong. He was at the centre of the story a moment ago. He's back on the ball here, plays it forward first time in towards the run of Boniface, bended it beautifully, and then just ran out of room because it was equally well defended there by Liverpool. And Victor Boniface has ended up actually on the floor, laying down by the advertising hoarding back behind that goal, because he careered into it with some force. Actually, he'd made a wonderful run to try and get on the end of the ball from Jeremy Frimpong, which was delivered perfectly into his path first time. But excellent defending from Alexander-Arnold. It was covering, wasn't it? He came all the way across with him. That made that more difficult for Victor Boniface, and effectively really just shut the door in time.
Yeah, pushing him wide to an impossible angle, but Boniface sort of sliding off the pitch and landing quite awkwardly in the end. He has got strapping on that left hand as well, and I think he might have landed on that too.
And sliding across the turf in collision with that advertising hoarding, but thankfully it looks like he is going to be okay. There's a considerable impact there, but his movement causing Liverpool issues. Alexander-Arnold went with him, as we say, and did just enough. He's still receiving a little bit of treatment, but he is sat back up again. There's Victor Boniface. They are temporarily down to 10, Leverkusen here. Liverpool on the ball with Gravenberch inside the centre circle. Forward first time by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Down goes Luis Diaz, dispossessed by Tapsoba. Grimaldo on that far side, such a threat down the left. Alex Grimaldo, super season that he had last year in their Bundesliga title-winning team. 7 points currently behind the leaders Bayern, who want their title back. Fascinating race in store already. Arne Slot making the point, he thinks Leverkusen has been every bit as good as last season, just been a bit less lucky at times, maybe, a bit more unlucky with some of the results that have gone against them in the early stages of this season. There's nothing between these two today as we reach the midway point of the first half. Liverpool 0, Leverkusen 0. Here come Liverpool again with Trent Alexander-Arnold winding up to strike one. He did so right-footed. It cannons away off Jonathan Tah and goes behind. Quarter of the way through the contest, we still await the game's first goal.
The ball is in the back of the net in Bologna, but it's been disallowed for a foul on the goalkeeper. It was an excellent leap from Wilfried Sango for Monaco, but disallowed. And Real Madrid have a penalty. They are 1-0 down at home to AC Milan. Vinicius Junior is the man who has placed the ball on the spot. And can he pull Madrid back level? The 15-time winners against the 7-time champions of Europe. What a game this is. Real Madrid against AC Milan. And Vinicius Junior, right-footed, just pauses. Goalkeeper goes down. He puts it the other side of him. It's a brilliant goal. And it's 1-1 at the Bernabeu.
Still 0-0 at Anfield, where Liverpool and Leverkusen cannot be separated so far. Little spell of Liverpool pressure, but matched by the defending from those of the Bundesliga. Very animated Xabi Alonso in the last few moments, barking out instructions down in his technical areas, covering a lot of ground within those permitted confines down there, and the play unfolding just in front of him at the moment, with the ball bouncing out of play for the throw.
It's all happening about 100 kilometres north of Anfield at Celtic Park. Christoph Baumgartner has put Leipzig 1-0 up after 23 minutes. Remember, they are second in Germany, ahead of Leverkusen in the table, but no points yet until tonight, maybe, in the Champions League phase. Celtic 0, Leipzig 1.
Leverkusen pinned back inside their own penalty area here, but so confident in possession, no panic in those sort of situations. Granit Xhaka on the ball, sweeping it out to Grimaldo on that left-hand side, helping it forward for Hincapié. He's covered good ground as well, and he will deliver left-footed just behind Alex Grimaldo, who continued his run, looking to link with Alex Garcia over there as well. And then down on the far side goes Salah, and he was just forced to the floor, so out will come the card for the first time in the game for the foul on Mo Salah on halfway. And the referee does reach for his pocket, Danny McKaylee, and will caution Garcia. And we're just seeing a replay of it on our monitors here, Andy. I don't think he can have too many complaints, can he, Alex Garcia, over that one?
None at all. Of course, such an important player for Gerona last season in their journey into the UEFA Champions League for the first time. They brought him in this evening to give themselves a little bit more control on the ball. We talked earlier about how they can't really pick the defence at the moment because of the injuries and unavailabilities that they have, but they can change something in the midfield. So as well as Palacios coming in, you have Alex Garcia, who rarely gives the ball away, and also is very strong from set pieces. But obviously they're expecting him to get involved in the physical side of the game as well, with Robert Andrich being on the substitutes bench.
There is Simicast. That was another change, wasn't it? Andrich making way to the bench today. A little bit of a reshuffle required in how they're lining up as well because of those changes in personnel. Good sweeping ball forward by Luis Diaz for Liverpool to Mo Salah, far side. He will run at Hincapié, edge of the penalty area, delivers the cross off the outside of the boot, came from McAllister. His shot, left-footed charge down, almost came back his way on the edge of the penalty area, but Wirtz was able to clear it. Big swing of the left boot. Skips away from Alex Grimaldo on that far side, couldn't quite reach it, but Leverkusen relieved that no greater damage was done, that they were able to clear it, because Liverpool and Mo Salah in particular were pressing with real intent, threatening every time they advanced. Salah with 7 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League already so far this season, plus another goal in the Champions League already. He's looking to bring up the half-century in this competition this evening. He's back on the ball here, corner of the box again, goes with the outside of the left boot. It breaks for Luis Diaz this time. He was trying to thread it through precisely back into the path of Mo Salah. Leverkusen denying him that opportunity, and they force Liverpool back to the halfway line, where there's a touch for Kostas Simicast. Infield towards Ryan Gravenberch, on halfway here, plenty ahead of him in red, and he slips the ball through to his left for Cody Gakpo, taking on Frimpong on the edge of the penalty area, tried to go infield where he was looking for Alexander-Arnold, inverting inside from that right back roll. But in those sort of positions so far, that's where Leverkusen have done really well, haven't they? They've always had somebody back in the way.
Yeah, they have, and I think what's really helped them, Phil, is that extra bit of composure on the ball. The fact that they're not defending and then just like slamming it out. They're actually playing it out as well, and that gives them a level of control that most teams that come to Anfield don't have.
There's Gakpo bending the cross in, and it whistles just wide of that far post. Nobody in the middle could quite get the touch to it. Curtis Jones was the closest to doing so, just evaded him. Salah couldn't reach it far side, but a dangerous ball in from Cody Gakpo, just checking in onto that right foot, and it didn't miss Curtis Jones by much on the way behind, but it stays goalless, Chris.
My word, Lille are having a very good time of it in the league phase. They have just opened the scoring against Juventus. Juve were guilty of trying to play the ball out from the back, were dispossessed, and eventually Jonathan David, who timed his run well, I think they'll check this for offside, but the goal stands at the moment, and he runs into the box and then shows all the confidence of a player bang in form. Jonathan David firing across the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. They beat Real Madrid, they've beaten Atletico, and now Lille are ahead against Juventus at home.
Still awaiting the first goal between Liverpool and Leverkusen, with almost half an hour played now. Liverpool on the ball on the far side of the field with Curtis Jones, but it had just crept out of play, actually, the assistant referee flagging. So it will be a Leverkusen throw, which Alex Grimaldo waits to take. Just advances a few paces down the touchline, looking for options in white to show themselves for him here, really. Not too much movement in front of him, so it's short instead into the feet of Granit Xhaka. Now back for Grimaldo. Forward down the line to Victor Boniface. Didn't quite have the space for that. Liverpool with plenty back themselves when required. Noticeable how Boniface works the channels. He spent a lot of the time actually so far out wide today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and that's what he does. You know, he's not just a fixed point centre forward using his strength and his pace. He's someone who can make those runs, and also he's very, very comfortable dribbling the ball past players as well. So a multifaceted centre forward and very, very useful in a situation like this.
6 goals in 6 in this competition. Previously 6 goals in the Bundesliga already this season for Victor Boniface. A Liverpool free kick on halfway here. The challenge from Tapsoba on Curtis Jones, who went down. Liverpool not hanging around, though. Both teams keeping the intensity high. It really has aided the spectacle. But to a certain extent, they're cancelling each other out a little bit, because both have been outstanding, both in possession but also defensively. Going to take something special, maybe, to separate them on the early evidence. And for that, Leverkusen will take real heart. They've spoken collectively, a number of the players recently, about how they want to show that they can compete on Liverpool's level, and they're certainly doing that so far. Yeah,
they are. And look, they're playing with real ambition, Bill. I think that's the notable thing about them. It feels a really real clash of equals so far, and I think that's the biggest possible compliment you can pay to Leverkusen, really.
Yeah, very much so. Very tough to split them right now. This is Van Dijk, goes cross-field for Liverpool. Out on that far side is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Infield he goes Ryan Gravenberch in a little pocket of space. Leverkusen with plenty back behind the ball, though. Inside the centre circle, taking over, is the captain Virgil van Dijk. And now Simicast down the line for Cody Gakpo, who has been playing, as he has more recently, wide on that left-hand side. That seems to be the position that Arne Slot prefers him in. We saw him switch around a little bit last season, didn't we, under Jurgen Klopp? Including in the centre of midfield at one stage, I remember, earlier in the season. But Slot seems to prefer him, doesn't he, in that wide left role.
I guess that is the beauty of Liverpool, that you have so many of these players who are comfortable in a number of positions. You talked earlier about the versatility of Gravenberch. We've seen mostly Luis Diaz, who we're used to seeing on the left in this sort of almost withdrawn centre-forward position so far. There's a lot to think about for both teams here.
Wonderful tactical tussle on the touchline. Arne Slot coming in, of course, to succeed Jurgen Klopp in the summer after Xabi Alonso had been linked with that Anfield return, but he was building something special with Leverkusen at the time of all that speculation, and made it clear very quickly that he remained committed to their cause. Fascinating to see them in direct opposition this evening. Liverpool back on the ball with Ibrahima Konate. Trent Alexander-Arnold forward first time. Touch for Jones in midfield. He's seeing plenty of it, covering a lot of ground as well. He's back on the ball, albeit briefly inside his own half of the field here. For Konate. And only Liverpool and Aston Villa winning the opening 3 games of this league phase in the new look Champions League, as Cody Gakpo battles for this against Frimpong, who'd gone all the way with him. The pair of them end up just beyond the perimeter of the pitch there, and for that Frimpong will take great heart, because he did his job, just got in front of Cody Gakpo, used his body well, and ensured that Gakpo couldn't reach it, drawing a foul in the process, I think, just to make sure. So Radetzky will be able to clear this one away.
I think we can underrate Frimpong's defensive qualities sometimes. You know, Jeremy Frimpong is such a skilled player in the final third of the pitch, incredible pace as well, but great defending there, and that is what Leverkusen have been on about in recent weeks, when they were conceding a lot of goals in the Bundesliga, particularly at home, and now they hope they've put a lid on that.
From here towards Luis Diaz for Liverpool, trying to bring it down initially with back to goal, and he was just caught outside the penalty area. It will be a Liverpool free kick here. It's in dangerous territory. It was Granit Xhaka, the Leverkusen player, that came across and just clipped him. We're seeing a replay on our monitor here, and there was clear contact there from Granit Xhaka on Luis Diaz, and this is a position of real promise for those in red.
Yeah, Xabi Alonso not too happy with the decision, but really no dispute over it whatsoever. It seems that Mo Salah might be poised over it as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, we would expect to be interested from this sort of position as well. Something to cause concern either way for Lukas Radetzky.
He stands at the moment behind that wall, trying to organise the angles, give himself every chance, but so many in Liverpool red who could step up here. He will certainly fancy it from this sort of range. 34 minutes on the clock at Anfield. Clear-cut chances so far have been at a real premium today because of the quality of the defending. There's been nothing in it possession-wise. They both had just the one attempt on target so far. Liverpool will hope to change that here. Salah and Alexander-Arnold both standing over the ball. It's just slightly to the right of centre as Liverpool look at it. 20 metres or so from goal. Plenty in white in the Leverkusen wall. One or two Liverpool players trying to position themselves either side of that wall as well. As the whistle goes from referee Danny McKaylee. So it's Alexander-Arnold to the left of it. It's Mo Salah to the right of the ball. There's about 5 in the initial wall for Leverkusen. It's Alexander-Arnold to take it right-footed. It brushed off the wall on the way over the top, which ensured did that touch that it was never quite troubling the target, but it will carry for the corner, and Liverpool with a chance to keep the pressure on. He's
such a threat from there, Alexander-Arnold. The wall has done a very good job in the end, flicking off Jonathan Tah, I think it was, to take it out of the corner.
10 minutes to go to half-time at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Leverkusen 0 on UEFA Champions League Match Day Live. Have had goals elsewhere. Manchester City still 1-up at Sporting. Lille leading Juventus by a goal to 0. 1-1 Real Madrid-Milan. As the corner comes in and is clutched very capably, very confidently by Lukas Radetzky. Celtic have levelled it against Leipzig, by the way. 1-1. Kuhner's equalised there in Glasgow. So plenty of goals going in on what is match day 4 of the league phase, the halfway stage, once this current round of fixtures are fulfilled. Liverpool yet to drop a point, but being held at home by still unbeaten Leverkusen so far. And it is the German team back on the ball on the halfway line here. Out towards this near side for Jeremy Frimpong. A little touch for Palacios as well. Taking over was Florian Wirtz. Now Alex Garcia, and rasping left-footed effort from Grimaldo, which was dipping, just not quite quickly enough as it cleared the crossbar.
Of course, such a brilliant start to last season, particularly for Alex Grimaldo, both scoring and assisting goals. Always fancies himself from that sort of distance, and more often than not, he works the goalkeeper from there. He'll be a little bit disappointed that he didn't keep it down to keep Kelleher honest.
Did score in their opening victory at Feyenoord, that 4-0 win on match day 1. And the 1 goal so far in the Bundesliga this season for Alex Grimaldo. 5 goals in total in the Champions League in his career. Such a key player last season under Xabi Alonso. Luis Diaz scampering down the left-hand side for Liverpool, and lets out a bellow of frustration when the referee's whistle goes against him there. The free kick is Leverkusen's, just in front of their own penalty area. A real battle going on between Luis Diaz and Edmund Tapsoba, but Diaz, I think, did have hold of the defender's shirt. That's what was spotted, and that's why the free kick's been given.
Even if it hadn't have been, Tapsoba still had the ball. Terrific defending from him.
There's a lot of movement in that front three, as we touched on earlier, but Leverkusen dealing with that so well, sticking to their defensive task with determination and discipline, and holding Liverpool at bay at the moment. 0-0, 37.5 minutes played. Little touch from Tapsoba on halfway. Not just defending, but they're getting involved in the build-up, of course, as well. Now Tar in the centre circle. Gets it back again. Little touch from Palacios. Here is Tapsoba. Regular again so far this season. Into space for Ezequiel Palacios, and his second Champions League start of the season. Players from both teams battling for the loose ball in midfield. A couple of them actually have stayed down, but players continued. Cody Gakpo and Granit Xhaka both now getting back to their feet at precisely the same moment. Victor Boniface finding Alex Grimaldo down the Leverkusen left. Nkapie infield to Alex Garcia. Now Tar again. He will switch the play out towards this right-hand side for Leverkusen, looking for Florian Wirtz. Simicas was with him. He's lost his boot in the process. It didn't stop him completing the clearance out of play. Still 0-0.
Big goal in Lisbon, Phil. Victor Gyökeres. Who else has equalised for Sporting? Ran through from the right-hand side. Delicate chip over the goalkeeper. He had a one-on-one earlier in the first half and couldn't make it count, but he rarely spurns two chances. What a striker. He is. Sporting 1, Manchester City 1, with 6 minutes to go until half-time. Remember, earlier wins for PSV against Gerona and Dinamo Zagreb at Slovan Bratislava. And in the late games, 1-1 between Real Madrid and AC Milan. 1-1, as I mentioned, between Sporting and Manchester City. Goalless between Dortmund and Sturm Graz. Lille lead Juventus by 1-0. It's 1-1 between Celtic and Leipzig. And it's still Bologna 0, Monaco 0.
And it's still Liverpool 0, Leverkusen 0, but this is a promising little period of patient probing possession for Bayer Leverkusen inside the Liverpool half, drifting now into more central territory, although they are forced back to keep hold of the ball with Tapsoba just inside his own half now, but Liverpool having to currently get through quite a lot of work without the ball. Piero Nkapie in possession for Leverkusen. And those overall possession stats still split right down the middle at the moment. Alexis McAllister winning it back briefly for Liverpool, forward in towards the feet of Luis Diaz. He couldn't quite make it stick. He's actually conceded a free kick in the process with the challenge on Ezequiel Palacios, who has gone down and stayed down here for Bayer Leverkusen. Again, he's never too far from the thick of the action in this part of the pitch. He just, I think, and only just reached it first ahead of Luis Diaz before the contact came. Palacios going down, but he's certainly done what he's been brought in to do by Xabi Alonso tonight.
Yeah, really has, and you know what, he's calmed the pace of the game at times, actually. I think people look at Palacios sometimes and think he's just an attack dog, but he's very, very composed on the ball as well. And interesting, him drawing that foul from Luis Diaz. We know how important Luis Diaz is to Liverpool off the ball. I think he's sort of edging a disciplinary tightrope at the moment, because he's made quite a few fouls now. They have to keep an eye on that. Maybe that's something that Arne Slot will look to bring to his attention at half-time.
Unlikely to get away with too many more, maybe, for accumulation reasons, if nothing else. We're into the final 5 of the first half here. Still Liverpool 0, Leverkusen 0. This will be a Bayer Leverkusen free kick, wide on the left-hand side, just in from the touchline.
Alvaro Morata, a Spaniard in Madrid, has just put AC Milan 2-1 up at the Bernabeu. Firm shot from Rafa Leao was only beaten away by the goalkeeper, and Morata was there to gobble up the chance. Real Madrid 1, AC Milan 2.
That's none of the action here. Leverkusen still sizing up this free kick. They've brought plenty forward to pack the penalty area, awaiting the delivery. Looks like Alex Grimaldo will be the favourite to take it for Leverkusen here. Likes of Tapsoba and Tar both up from the back. We'll try and get on the end of it. The referee with a little bit of sorting out to do first. He wants a word with Victor Boniface, who is right in the middle of it as well, amongst a posse of players, about 7 or 8 Liverpool defenders, all in a line inside their own box. Here comes the cross, and Kelleher comes and claims it confidently. Good take from the goalkeeper. So many players surrounding him, but it was a clean take from Kelleher. Tried to release it quickly as well. didn't quite fall initially for Liverpool, but they have it back now with Kostas Tsimikas, and he will play it from left to right for Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's a lovely ball to get Mo Salah away. Salah will keep it in tight to the touchline, taking on Grimaldo in towards the penalty area here. On the left foot, does get the shot away, and Radetzky is in the way on his near post to make the save. It was hit hard enough for Radetzky to need a second go at collecting it. Wasn't able to hold it, but he was in the right place to stop it.
Yeah, solid enough from Radetzky there, but really Alex Grimaldo's done so well just to make it a difficult shot for Mo Salah, not to give him an easy, clear sight of goal. And, you know, I think we look at Leverkusen as 3 at the back, but at times we're seeing 5. We're seeing...
Oh, here's Frimpong. He's got away from Kostas Tsimikas, bearing down on goal and thumps in the opening goal of the game. But no sooner does he wheel away to start the celebrations than it's halted by the whistle. And this one has been disallowed. Initially anyway, it will be checked. It was a nervy moment for Kostas Tsimikas as he battled for possession with Frimpong. Wasn't quite sure initially maybe where Frimpong was, Tsimikas there. Did he get a little shove in the back? The Leverkusen player was initially allowed to race away. It's a really good finish, thumps it in right-footed. Keller just beaten by the power, really. But I don't think this one is going to count. They are checking whether there was a handball there in the build-up to the goal. And I think quite possibly there might have been.
Yeah, we're just about to find out. I was just about to say how much work defensively, actually, both Jeremy Frimpong and Grimaldo have got through. But great attacking play there from Frimpong, even though it won't count.
It doesn't count. They checked it, and the goal disallowed. The correct call on field to not allow that one to stand because of the handball. But it was certainly something that Tsimikas will be grateful for, because Frimpong giving him problems right now. Tsimikas dealt with that threat pretty well thus far, but on that occasion he was relieved to hear the whistle, certainly. And the half-time whistle will be on the way pretty shortly. We'll find out within the next minute how much added time there will be at the end of this first period. There's Tar stretching on halfway under pressure from Luis Diaz. Did well to reach it. And no free kick necessary because Leverkusen still have the ball. With Nkapie. Spreads it wide to that left-hand side. Just bounced away initially from Garcia, couldn't quite keep it in. So it was a scare for Liverpool and Leverkusen, although it looks like they will go in at 0-0 quite possibly now. They'll take great heart from what they've shown in this first half, certainly. Yeah, they will.
They've looked very composed, Phil, which I think is the main thing for them. They're enterprising when they've had the opportunity as well, and plenty for Liverpool to think about. I can't think of an away team. Even Nottingham Forest, of course, won here earlier in the season. They didn't play as well as this. This is the toughest home game Liverpool have had so far this season, I would say, so far.
Into 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. The Liverpool side have won 13 of their 15 games in all competitions, home and away, this season since Arne Slot took charge. They advance now with Mo Salah down the Liverpool right. And Nkapie stuck to his task, did really well, just to nick the ball away from Salah, and then the attempted clearance cannons away off Trent Alexander-Arnold. It will go for the Leverkusen ball, level with the edge of their own penalty area. Leverkusen side with just 1 defeat in their last 13 away games in European competition. The Europa League semi-final in 2023 at Roma. A remarkable record that they have on the road. This one cleared away up towards the halfway line, and Boniface just over his head. And he wasn't able to advance any further and get on the end of that because of the presence of Virgil van Dijk. Kelleher will clear up towards halfway. Curtis Jones brings it down. Neat first touch from him. And then back infield, looking for options. And he's found a very useful option in Cody Gakpo in space, surging into the penalty area. Gets the shot away on the left foot, straight at Radetzky. Stood tall, did well to make the save. Out as far as Tsimikas. Tsimikas returns it, crosses with menace. Cleared only towards Gakpo again. It might come back his way. Trying to bring the bouncing ball under control, Cody Gakpo. Just unable to do so. And then a tussle on the touchline will see him, to his frustration, concede the free kick here. Frantic fair at the end of the first half, but still 0-0.
An equaliser for Celtic. Niklas Kuhn has tapped home from close range. Celtic 1, Leipzig 1. I should say Celtic have just taken the lead, sorry. Kuhn with that goal. It was 1-1. It's now 2-1 to Celtic in Glasgow.
Almost at half-time at Anfield, where we still await the first goal of this game, but Lukasz Radecki getting a bit busier in the last few minutes. He was in the right place to make another save. He's only just actually got back to his feet again after a little period of treatment having done so. So it does seem as if these sides will head in all square at the interval, and can't really dispute that in terms of the overall balance of play. There's been very little to separate them so far. Liverpool with 2 attempts on target to 1 at the other end. Leverkusen 52% of the possession. As Andy Brassel was saying, very few teams come here and have more of the ball than Liverpool at Anfield. Forward by Tapsoba, but that will be the last kick of the first half. So Leverkusen did have it in the net a few minutes to go.
back out, so is Arne Slot at Anfield, but there's already been a very notable goal in the second half. Basically from kick-off, Sporting have scored against Manchester City. A beautifully crafted move from Ruben Amorim's team. And Andy Brassel, watching this alongside me, what a goal, what a start to the second half.
Yeah, it's amazing, and so much has been made of the 3-4-3, and Araujo has come into that left wing-back role recently after coming up in Mexican football, just come to Sporting this season. It's a brilliant finish from him, actually, through Ederson's legs, catching City completely cold. I'm not sure I've ever seen that happen to them before.
Me neither. Goals as they go in from there and elsewhere in the late games, but our commentary game, Liverpool against Leverkusen with Andy and your match commentator, Phil Blacker.
And just underway again at the start of the second half here. Liverpool trying to match Sporting maybe and score right from the kick-off. They launched into all-out attack, really, having got the second half back underway, but as they did throughout the entirety of the first half, the Leverkusen defence doing a really decent job in dealing with the danger. No way through as yet for Liverpool. No changes by either side at half-time. I'll run you through the lineups, a little reminder at the earliest opportunity. Back on the ball here for Leverkusen is Alex Grimaldo, returned by Jonathan Tah to his captain and goalkeeper Radetzky, who's forced to rush the clearance a little bit under pressure, reaches touch with it on the far side of the field. So Liverpool with Kelleher in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Tsimikas the back four, Jones, Gravenberch and McAllister in midfield, Salah, Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo the front three, and we may well see Darwin Núñez at some stage off the bench. Also in reserve, the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai, Andy Robertson, Joe Gomez as well. For Leverkusen, they have Radetzky in goal, Tapsoba, Tah and Hincapié the back three, Frimpong and Grimaldo wide, Palacios, Xhaka and Alex Garcia in midfield, Florian Wirtz just in behind Victor Boniface. We played 90 seconds of the second half, 0-0.
Penalty to Sporting. Extraordinary start to this second half. They have just taken the lead and Victor Gyökeres has the chance to put them 3-1 up. Here he comes, right-footed, slams it down the middle. And what a scoreline this is in Lisbon. Sporting 3, Manchester City 1. Ruben Amorim signing off in style before he heads to City's rivals, Manchester United. 3-1, and Pep Guardiola can barely work out what he's seen at the start of this second half. 2 goals in 3 minutes.
Well, here come Leverkusen with Frimpong, ball whipped in from the right-hand side. Kostas Tsimikas, importantly in the way, he got the touch to it to divert it behind. Well, we haven't yet, Andy, had the opening goal here, but it's been a lively start to the second half. Yes, it certainly has, and Leverkusen coming out with that same sort of confidence that they played with for most of the first half. Slotted straight back into their stride, haven't they? And seeing what they can produce from the corner kick here. Plenty packing the penalty area once more in white. All crowded really inside the 6-metre area or so. Not much room for Kelleher to work on his line, all in yellow. The Liverpool goalkeeper, it's delivered deep just over his head. And it drops behind his far post. He wasn't actually required, as it turned out. Goes behind for the goal kick, but a statement of attacking intent for Leverkusen at the start of this second half. And Xabi Alonso back on familiar territory. We've just seen, actually, when he re-emerged for the second half, touching the "This is Anfield" sign, as he was so often used to doing, I guess, down the years previously. It's irresistible when you walk down that tunnel. You just can't not do it. It must be impossible not to reach up and touch it, yeah, absolutely. Wonderful reception that he has received so far tonight, and an excellent performance from his team. But here come Liverpool with Curtis Jones, foraying forward, cutting in from the right. No way through the middle, though. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a good ball, teased into the path of Mohamed Salah. Hincapié stood his ground, got a foot in. There's still some assistance required to get it clear. Palacios trying to provide that. Nice little touch from Grimaldo, and it breaks here for Florian Wirtz for Leverkusen. On the move is Frimpong down the right. Tsimikas tight to him, was just able to react first and win the ball well for Liverpool. Important intervention from the Greek international left-back. Now Luis Diaz on the halfway line, into the feet of Gravenberch. He's able to stride forward, more advanced than we've seen him for most of the match. Cody Gakpo, his compatriot, takes over, and the Dutchman delivers from the left. Salah trying to huck it back from the other side. Did wrap his boot around it before it had gone over the byline, or did he? It looked very close there. And maybe Mo Salah just wasn't quite able to keep it in play, but Cody Gakpo looking at a threat on the other flank, in good goal-scoring form at the moment. Opened the scoring, got the equaliser at Brighton, opened the Liverpool scoring before Salah snatched the points just a couple of minutes later. He was on target in the League Cup game against Brighton as well, was Cody Gakpo. They'll look to get him more involved as this goes on, won't they?
Yeah, they will do. I mean, he threatened to take the game by the scruff of the neck a couple of times in the first half, I thought, Phil. But of course, as this game continues to be close, or if it continues to be close, going into the last 20-25 minutes, you would say where Liverpool have the edge is a more stacked substitutes bench. We talked about the injuries that Leverkusen have got at the moment. They don't actually have a full subs bench. So Liverpool have, what, 3 players extra on it, I think, from memory. And they do have the opportunity to bring on Darwin, to bring on Andy Robertson, to bring on Szoboszlai as well.
Yeah, 8 named on the Leverkusen bench. Amongst them, Patrick Schick and the English-born Nigerian international Nathan Tella has attacking options. Jonas Hoffmann and Robert Andrik in reserve as well, but numbers are a little limited for Leverkusen. Nearly 6 minutes into this second half now, 0-0. Tapsoba is down. He, Tar and Hincapié is the back three. Have been excellent so far, but it's been a collective unit, really, that has kept Liverpool at bay. He was just hurt when attempting the clearance. Luis Diaz came across to close him down. Tapsoba is back on his feet, wants to take the free kick from a little further forward, maybe. I think it's what the Liverpool fans are reacting to over in that corner of the ground. He's going to leave it in the end, actually, for his goalkeeper, Lukas Radecki, who will get this one away. Right-footed, decent distance on it. Challenging to meet it was Victor Boniface. He did get something on it. Fought again by Tapsoba. Almost came for Frimpong, but Konate there first. His clearance cut out on the halfway line by Edmund Tapsoba, who is seeing plenty of it just at the moment. Curtis Jones gets the foot in midfield. Konate out to the right for Liverpool, and forward by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Mo Salah waiting for the bouncing ball, and he was beaten to it again by Hincapié, who's certainly had to be at his best up against Mo Salah tonight, and well, thus far he has been, really. He's dealt with the threat of one of Liverpool's most in-form forwards really well.
Yeah, and I think when you look at all the changes that Xabi Alonso has made, it's easy to overlook what an excellent individual coach he is of individual players as well. Piero Hincapié wasn't half the player he was when Alonso arrived at the club, and a huge amount of that, of course, is the players' effort, but you have to look at the individual improvements to these players as well and see all of Alonso's work.
And so many examples of that throughout this side, really, speaking volumes as to the job that he's done. Forward here by Ibrahima Konate for Liverpool. Gravenberch in a central position just outside of the penalty area, touches it to his left for Luis Diaz, advancing up towards the edge of the box. Palacios trying to dispossess him, and then in the process has actually caught Cody Gakpo. Just a little too quick there for Ezequiel Palacios. It's a Liverpool free kick. Useful position, this one, just outside of the penalty area, almost level with the edge of the box. I
wonder if Palacios was a little bit anxious, Phil. Of course, that was more or less the area from which Gakpo scored at the weekend against Brighton. I don't think he intended to score, but he certainly did. He was very dangerous from that position.
Yeah, it's his type of territory, isn't it, over there? And he was caught. The leg came in late, and the free kick given. And it will be placed down here by Kostas Tsimikas for Liverpool, assuming the set-piece responsibility just outside the box. There's a bit going on in the middle. Konate and Van Dijk are on the move as the cross comes in, headed clear by Grimaldo as far as Gravenberch. Back in by Trent Alexander-Arnold. There's going to be a chase on that Kostas Tsimikas isn't quite going to be able to win in his attempts to keep that ball in play over on the far side. The Liverpool left, it just bounces in front of him, now behind and out of play. 54 minutes on the clock, 0-0 at Anfield. Boniface for Leverkusen here, trying to combine with Grimaldo, didn't quite work for him, so Liverpool have it with Salah instead. To his right, Curtis Jones delivers the cross right-footed first time. Gakpo collects it with back to goal. Mo Salah with a touch. Gravenberch now out to his left-hand side, and Tsimikas back for Ryan Gravenberch. Better period of possession this for Liverpool in the last few minutes. Can they make something of it? Patient and probing as they try and pick that final pass. Battling for it here before getting the shot away was Curtis Jones. The shot did come right-footed from just inside the area. It cleared the crossbar, but there's real attacking intent from those in red right now.
Yeah, there is, and I know Liverpool have got so many stars. It's is often tempting to focus on them, but I've just wondered, as this evening has gone on, whether Curtis Jones could be the person to crack it open for Liverpool. I mean, we saw possibly one of the best chances of that first half created by Curtis Jones, with great control and a cross to Hakpo. But there we saw as well how he can arrive late in the box to score himself.
He's really developed his game recently, hasn't he, to become a first-team contender in this Liverpool side, certainly in more recent matches, a difference maker maybe. Leverkusen have it on halfway here. They're taking it in turns to attack right now, but the ball won back well by Alexis Mac Allister, in the right place at the right time for Liverpool. The clearance only into the path of Hincapié though, but he couldn't quite stride forward as intended, and Liverpool only briefly won it back. Piero Hincapié now is back on the ball, albeit just inside his own half of the field. Grimaldo is the target for the sweeping ball forward. It did reach him. Left-footed delivery aimed in towards the run of Boniface. Connected first with Konate, but Boniface will still reach it, tries to make something of it, and he delivered the cross. The referee's actually stepped in and pulled the play back now. And so Leverkusen seeing that particular attack come to nothing. It was Virgil van Dijk battling for it with Victor Boniface, and the ball I think had just gone out of play before Boniface wrapped his boot around it. It was a close call, but a good spot by the assistant referee who gave it, actually flagging on the far side of the field. Kelleher clears it away, doesn't reach halfway with it, but Jones is underneath it. He chests it down into the path here of Ryan Gravenberch. Snapping at his heels was Alex Garcia. Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool, out towards the left-hand side. Kostas Tsimikas. Forward it goes once again. Liverpool with plenty on the move in the middle. Alexis Mac Allister taking the pass from Luis Diaz. Those two not quite able to link as they wanted to. And Radecki can clear. It's a big swing of the right boot from the Finnish international goalkeeper, and it reaches the halfway line before Liverpool wrestle back control again with Ryan Gravenberch. Luis Diaz now. Wider is Cody Gakpo on that left-hand side. A couple of defenders surrounding him. Gakpo trying to take them all on, really. Tapsoba's clearance actually hit Gakpo. Almost broke back his way. Leverkusen forced to clear as far as Virgil van Dijk. Cody Gakpo back on his feet again. Liverpool still on the ball, in towards the feet of Luis Diaz. Again, he was facing his own goal when he received possession there, but he kept his composure and control of the football. Kostas Tsimikas goes back down the line. Virgil van Dijk, and this is possibly the most prolonged period of Liverpool possession that they've had in a while, certainly in the second half, as we edge towards the hour mark. Trent Alexander-Arnold in field, still 0-0 at Anfield. Konate to Virgil van Dijk. The Liverpool centre-backs in possession inside the Leverkusen half. Those in white being forced back a bit. They're currently all behind the ball. Notable shift in the last few moments, maybe. Now Gravenberch, lovely turn, advances up towards the edge of the box. Gravenberch plays it to Mo Salah, and the attempted shot off the right boot of Salah skews wide of the target. He was just stretching a little bit, maybe at the point of contact. It was a lovely turn from Gravenberch, glided forward, and then shaping as if to shoot, spotted the pass, was on for Mo Salah, slipped it through to him. Salah with a sight of goal, and he couldn't trouble the target when it did threaten to open up for him. Brilliant from Ryan Gravenberch, though.
Yeah, fantastic. And when you consider, as you say, Phil, starting with a more defensive register in this game, now coming more into it as an attacking force, that's the adaptability of the Liverpool midfield, just bobbling a little bit for Mo Salah there. And I don't think he realised how much time he had.
Oh, he is back on the ball. He didn't have a lot of time on that occasion, though. Challenged quickly by a combination of Alex Garcia and Granit Xhaka, and out of play for the Liverpool throw on the near side. Curtis Jones, I think, is going to leave this one for his fullback Trent Alexander-Arnold to take. Back down the line for Ibrahima Konate. The Liverpool fans raising the volume levels a little bit inside Anfield now in response to this more controlled period of possession that their team are enjoying in Leverkusen territory. Luis Diaz now, there's space for Alexander-Arnold midway inside the Leverkusen half. On the corner of the penalty area is Mo Salah taking on Grimaldo, and Salah skipping to the byline again, couldn't get beyond Piero Hincapié. Combination of he and Grimaldo dispossessing Salah, but Luis Diaz has done really well to win it back, and then it's sat up for Trent Alexander-Arnold to strike it with the left foot this time. Struck across the ball, and it's flashed high and wide in the end. Was a chance for Trent Alexander-Arnold on his less favoured left foot, maybe. Didn't miss the far post by too much. But the Liverpool fans in full voice now, as I mentioned, and they're beginning to believe perhaps that the breakthrough could be on the way.
Yeah, that does feel as if there's been a momentum shift in these last couple of minutes. No big work for Hudrecki just yet, which is something that Liverpool will want to change in the coming minutes.
And it certainly hasn't translated yet, has it, to clear-cut openings. But an hour in at Anfield, and Liverpool getting on top, still 0-0 though.
It is loud as Leverkusen attack. Just to tell you that there is a penalty for Juventus, and they're 1-0 down at the moment away at Lille, but Dusan Vlahovic has the chance to level things up for the Italian team. He's just poising himself. We've seen lots of penalties so far tonight. Referees making sure all of the players are back and outside of the penalty area. Lille hoping to make it 3 wins in a row in this league phase. They're 1-0 up, but for how long? Here comes Vlahovic, left-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. Call as you like. An hour gone in the north of France. Lille 1, Juventus 1.
Liverpool 0, Leverkusen 0, but here come Liverpool, and Luis Diaz with a dink over the goalkeeper after a fabulous through ball had found him, and Liverpool have found a way through. The breakthrough at Anfield on the hour, picture of composure in front of goal was Luis Diaz. Lovely little assist that set him up, more than matched by the fabulous dink finish, and Liverpool lead Leverkusen by a goal to 0.
And what a finish that is, Phil. So few chances, so few tangible chances for Liverpool this evening, and for Luis Diaz, who's looked frustrated at times. But when the chance did come his way, the clear chance did come his way, never looked like missing it.
Absolutely brilliant from him in front of goal, wasn't it? Curtis Jones, who had the space to collect the pass and then thread it through in behind that Leverkusen line, perfectly into the path of Luis Diaz. He timed his run well, he'd stayed onside, got in front of Edmund Tapsoba, and then just lifts it up over Lukas Hudrecki, perfectly placed over the keeper and in. They are still just checking this, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. In fact, it was a brilliant finish, and Liverpool lead against Leverkusen, a first Champions League goal of the season for Luis Diaz.
Andy Brassel got his crystal ball out a few minutes ago and said that it might be Curtis Jones to unpick this Leverkusen defence, and it was. Drama all over Europe at the moment. What a finish that was. Milan still 2-1 up away at Real Madrid. Sporting 3-1 up at home to Manchester City. Goalless between Dortmund and Sturm Graz. Juventus have just equalised away at Lille. It's Bologna 0, Monaco 0, and it's still Celtic 2, Leipzig 1. The top 8 as things stand. Very, very interesting, and one I don't think many would have predicted at the start of this new league phase in September.
Liverpool ahead here on top of the league as it stands at the moment. In fact, they're 2 points clear of Sporting in the live league table after what would be the halfway stage of their campaign. But we still have, including added time, over half an hour to play this evening. But Liverpool may be in the mood for more now. Luis Diaz again is on the move. Wider is Mo Salah. He delivers the cross, and it's 2-0. Gakpo arriving far post to head it in, but the offside flag is up. And again, Liverpool's celebrations cut short. Beautifully worked in the build-up between Luis Diaz and Mo Salah. Again, they'll check it, but Cody Gakpo may well have just gone too soon. We're just seeing a replay now. Mo Salah's certainly onside. Oh, it's very close, isn't it, when the cross from Salah came in. I think it's Hincapié on this near side, if anybody, that might have been playing him on there. Having a look at it, Rob Dieperink is the video assistant referee who'll be sorting this one out right now.
It's an unbelievable move, regardless of what happens. And Gakpo's come more and more into the game as things have gone on. It's a delicious cross by Mo Salah. And Gakpo just trying to hang back behind the last defender, almost arching his back for the header. I think Danny Macchielli, the referee, is just saying how close it was, isn't he, with his hands there.
He's just telling everybody to wait whilst they try and get word of the decision. But he's waiting for word himself from Rob Dieperink as they work this one out. The technology in place, of course, to help them do so, but that looks, certainly to the naked eye, as very, very close, and nothing that we've seen or heard since then suggests otherwise. And this is a key decision to come, because Liverpool, were they to go 2-0 up at this stage of the game, would be firm favourites, certainly, to see it through and maintain their winning start. to the league phase. The time that it's taking tells you just how close this is. The decision comes and the goal is given, and Liverpool do lead by 2. Cody Gakpo had just stayed onside and he is able to celebrate now. Liverpool in short order taking this game away from Leverkusen. 2 in less than 5 minutes and 2-0 in front.
It's exactly what they did on Saturday against Brighton, wasn't it? They struggled to break through, but when the floodgates opened, they opened, and it's happening all over again. Leverkusen the recipients this time. It's a brilliant ball by Salah. And we just talked there about Gakpo sort of holding off, just holding his run, having to arch his back and then lurch at the header, almost a diving header in the end, to put it past Radetzky at the back post. Is a great finish.
He was a long way off the ground, wasn't he, when he made contact with that at the far post to score his first Champions League goal of the season, a third of his career, and such a significant one tonight. Liverpool 2, Leverkusen 0.
Penalty to Manchester City for handball. They're 3-1 down away at Sporting, and it looks like the Portugal international Bernardo Silva is going to be the man, as you can hear from the whistles, who is going to try and reduce the deficit here. Sporting with those 2 goals in the space of the opening 3 minutes of the second half is why they are 3-1 up against Pep Guardiola's team, who just turns and waits. And in fact, it's not going to be Bernardo Silva. It's going to be Erling Haaland, who now has the ball tucked underneath his left hand, and very shortly he will take the penalty kick.
In the meantime, Liverpool press here. Curtis Jones deflected. It almost broke the way of Salah in the penalty area, but Leverkusen are able to clear it away. They'll try and launch the counter-attack with Florian Wirtz, but Konate steps across and guides it back to his goalkeeper.
So Erling Haaland has been made to wait so far. 67 minutes on the clock in Lisbon. Sporting 3-1 up in Ruben Amorim's final home game in charge. We've seen Viktor Gyökeres score twice already tonight. It is another Scandinavian star striker now, Erling Haaland, who is going to attempt to get City back into this contest. He's still being made to wait, but there goes the whistle. Takes 5-6 steps back. Some Sporting fans can barely look, and Haaland has blasted it onto the top of the crossbar and over. Pep Guardiola can't believe it. It's still Sporting 3, Manchester City 1.
Still Liverpool 2, Leverkusen 0, but here come Bayer Leverkusen in a position of real promise on the edge of the penalty area, trying to deliver the cross from the right. And that one is blocked away. It was Alex Garcia that attempted to deliver it. So real drama in the Champions League right now. Can Leverkusen come to the party? They've got a quarter of this game to go, and they need something soon, really. Andy Brassel are there to find a foothold.
Yeah, they really do. And I think that's really the problem of playing Liverpool at Anfield. You can be composed as you like.
They'll take the corner short. Looking to move swiftly here through the gears. Good ball in, and it's headed just wide. Boniface stretching every sinew to try and turn that goalwards. Flung himself at it. It wasn't wide of the target by much. It was a dangerous ball, dinked into the penalty area. It cleared the head of Virgil van Dijk. Boniface reached it ahead of Gravenberch. Couldn't quite, though, keep it on target. And Mo Salah at the other end is looking for Gakpo again in not dissimilar circumstances to their second goal. Salah trying to provide the cross from the right. This time with the left boot, looking for Gakpo in the air at the far post. Leverkusen were alert to the danger this time, and now they advance forward by Granit Xhaka. Touch on halfway for Grimaldo. Granit Xhaka has it back again. Liverpool have got everybody back behind the ball here. We're beyond the midway point of the second half. 68.5 minutes played. 2-0 Liverpool, but a response now from those in white. Boniface, had he stayed onside? That looked close. And as soon as he did deliver the cross from the byline, wrap his boot around the ball, the flag had gone up. Well, they've been certainly stung into attacking action of Leverkusen here. How swiftly things can change. We're just seeing on our monitors how close that offside decision was. Initially given offside, of course, Cody Gakpo, the goal allowed to stand after the review. We are talking the merest of margins, aren't we?
Yeah, very, very close. Gakpo was asking, so was Arne Slot, his countryman, and they got the result they wanted in the end. But the big difficulty for Leverkusen at the moment, you feel as if the game is being played at Liverpool's pace.
And here come the home side again. with Cody Gakpo again, left-hand side of the penalty area, and then he clips in the cross. Lovely ball for Curtis Jones. It's ended up just skipping behind him, though he delayed a little bit. Jones is still in there battling for it, goes to the floor, wants a free kick. That's not forthcoming. Florian Wirtz instead able to bring the ball away. Now Hincapié. Granit Xhaka lets it run in the knowledge that Wirtz was just beyond him. Infield it goes towards Ezequiel Palacios. Boniface has to chase it. He will get a foot to it ahead of Konate, but there's no room in behind. Wasn't able to continue his run there, and instead Ibrahima Konate can pick up the pieces, collect possession back for Liverpool. But yeah, the odds stacked in their favour now with this two-goal cushion, and Leverkusen are going to have to take some chances, push players forward. They're doing that already, but Liverpool do look in the mood to exploit that further. Yes,
they really do. They've really taken that bit of momentum and run with it. Really strong last 15-20 minutes from Liverpool, and they can always do this at Anfield. You know, we talked about the composure and the poise of Leverkusen in the first half, but when you're facing the prospect of an Anfield avalanche, it's something totally different, isn't it? And a lot of teams have been there before.
And Liverpool so confident in their quality, they could afford to be patient. They weren't getting too hassled and frustrated by the manner in which Leverkusen were keeping them at bay. Bided their time, found that moment of quality, and then swiftly scored the second when they were on top as well. And they are currently in command going into the last 20 minutes of the 90. Alexis McAllister with a crossfield ball for Mohamed Salah. Brings it down beautifully. Another assist to add to his ever-increasing collection this season. Mohamed Salah, Arne Slot making the point ahead of this game when Salah's future was the subject of discussion, that he's showing no signs of slowing down at all, believes he's more than capable of going on as long as the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. And certainly given the season that Salah is having so far, he is backing that up. But others joining the party as well. So many options for Arne Slot.
That's right, Phil. I mean, I think Arne Slot was talking about his situation, and Virgil van Dijk's and Trent Alexander-Arnold's, and he's saying it's not really an issue when they're playing this well, and it's hard to argue with that, isn't it, really?
They're playing wonderfully well right now, aren't they? Liverpool enjoying themselves, and it goes towards Luis Diaz again. Gakpo trying to trick his way through. Good save in the end from Radetzky to deny McAllister. Out as far as Alexander-Arnold, who thumped it goalwards. Got plenty behind that on the outside of the right boot as he struck across it, and it's just cleared the crossbar.
I mean, Leverkusen are hanging onto the floor with their fingernails at the moment. So unused to seeing them like this. I think the last spell of a game they had like this was probably the UEFA Europa League final last year against Atalanta. Gianpiero Gasperini with a great tactical plan against them, but with Liverpool, it's sheer quality, it's sheer momentum. They've needed to make those changes, Leverkusen, and it looks like they're about to make a couple. Yeah,
a couple of them here. Jonas Hoffmann and Robert Andrich are going to come on for these last 20 minutes or so. A big save from Radetzky to deny McAllister in there before Alexander-Arnold put it just over the top. It's going to be Alex Garcia and Ezequiel Palacios who make way as part of this double change. I think there's going to be a Liverpool substitution as well in a moment, as they try and take full advantage here, extend their winning start. And Leverkusen, as it stands, heading for only a third defeat in 69 matches since the start of last season, the first full season in charge for Xabi Alonso. Coming off for Liverpool to a wonderful ovation is Curtis Jones. On in his place, until recently a regular, Dominic Szoboszlai, again underlining their strength in depth. Liverpool 2-0 up on Leverkusen.
Talking of ovations, there's a big one at Celtic Park, because the Scottish champion Celtic are 3-1 up against Leipzig. Rio Hatate tucking home from close range after Peter Gulacsi had only managed to parry out across from the right-hand side. And Celtic, as things stand, heading onto 7 points and dreaming of finishing in one of the top 24 places. Brendan Rodgers with a great celebration on the touchline. It is Celtic 3, Leipzig 1 with 17 minutes left.
Oh, Salah, that's a middle picked out by Mo Salah. Well defended on that occasion by Tapsoba, who came across. Leverkusen able to clear to Boniface, but Liverpool looking such a threat every time they foray forward now, which is very frequently at this stage of the game. A little bit of space at the other end for Leverkusen, and Frimpong advancing into the penalty area, taking on Kostas Tsimikas. Still has it and tried to deliver the cross, a little off balance when he did so left-footed. It's blocked, but still has it, as Frimpong did well to keep hold of that in from the touchline and win the ball back for Leverkusen. more pertinently ensure that they never really lost it despite briefly losing control of it. Now Robert Andrich, his first involvement, trying to thread that one forward towards Frimpong. Simicast staying tight to him on the edge of the penalty area, partially clear. Robert Andrich with the bleached blonde hair battling for it against Cody Gakpo, who goes down, wins the free kick. Gakpo, scorer of the second goal, that currently has Liverpool in this position of authority, ensuring a little bit of breathing space that they've been enjoying of late. But Leverkusen suggesting, Andy, in the last few minutes, they're not finished yet, far from it.
Yeah, well, they're famed for their powers of recovery. I saw them all through last season, and we've seen it a couple of times this season as well, Phil. But having said that, this is a tall order and then some, with the way that Liverpool have played in this second half. And of course, a huge part of that has been their strength off the substitutes bench, which perhaps isn't the same as it normally is with the injuries they have. Surprised not to see Patrick Schick come on yet.
Yeah, he remains in reserve for now, doesn't he, the centre forward? But they do have options in attack here. Grimaldo cutting infield from the left, got there first ahead of Alexander-Arnold. Luis Diaz back doing his defensive duties, shows him back in field. Now Robert Andrich. To his right is Tapsoba. In front of him was Frimpong, but he's gone back in field to Andrich again. That's really well worked for Grimaldo. And now Frimpong able to take the touch, then get the shot away, right-footed, charge back towards him. Big block in there from McAllister. And the cross, when it came from the right, is overhit and behind. Hasn't quite been Florian Wirtz's day so far. He's been one of the stars of the show, hasn't he, in this season's Champions League? 3 goals in his first 3 games in the competition. Not played in it yet until this season, but Liverpool have done a really decent job of marshalling and minimalising his threat. Yeah, they've played him excellently. I mean, where Wirtz has had most of the ball has been, what, 40, maybe even more metres from goal. Exactly the sort of place where Liverpool will be happy to see him have the ball, and we see him coming deeper and deeper to get it. He's trying everything to try and get on it, try and have his say, but not happening for him yet, not happening for Leverkusen. Time ticking down into the closing quarter of an hour. Liverpool 2, Leverkusen 0.
And not happening for Real Madrid either, because Milan are 3-1 up at the Bernabeu. Tiani Reinders with an excellent finish after Rafael Leao caused chaos at the back. He's having some night, and so are AC Milan. The 7-time winners lead the 15-time champions by 3 goals to 1. And the holders are going to need the type of finish they did against Dortmund 2 weeks ago now, if they are not to avoid a defeat at home. What a scoreline that is. And we have a few across Europe. Sporting 3-1 up against Manchester City, and quite possibly have won themselves a penalty with a chance to go 4-1 up. Remarkable. Dortmund 0, Sturm Graz 0, Lille 1, Juventus 1, Bologna 0, Monaco 0, and Celtic 3, Leipzig 1. Remember, earlier there were wins for PSV and for Dinamo Zagreb. Mateus Nunes has been booked, and we'll head back to Lisbon for that penalty shortly. Leverkusen on the attack in the meantime. Granit Xhaka slipping it down the right-hand side. The cross in towards Victor Boniface. Cut out by Konate, who did well to reach it, just got there first. Liverpool, of course, will want the clean sheet here as well, having assembled this 2-0 lead against a Leverkusen side with just 1 defeat to remind you in their last 13 away games in European competition. No away defeat since the last day of the 2022-23 season. But 2 behind at Anfield. Away days don't come too much tougher than this. In goes the cross from Frimpong towards Boniface. It will come all the way through, though, on this near side, the Liverpool right, for Trent Alexander-Arnold to bring it clear. And he finds Ryan Gravenberch again in space in the centre circle. Cody Gakpo also in plenty of that particular commodity, wide on the left-hand side, advancing up towards the edge of the box, back in field to Gravenberch again. Liverpool just slowing down the pace of the attack a little bit before finding Gakpo in field, looking for Szoboszlai. Didn't quite reach him, and I think we can head back to Lisbon. It is a penalty, and Viktor Gyökeres, with 10 minutes to go, up against Ederson. Gyökeres fires home! A hat-trick for him, underlining just why the Swedish star is one of the most feared strikers in European football. What a night for Sporting. They are 4-1 up against Manchester City, and Ruben Amorim is saying goodbye in the perfect manner. What a scoreline. You can hear what the Sporting fans make of that, Phil Blacker. Incredible scenes there.
Here at Anfield, Liverpool are making changes to try and help themselves over the line, to freshen things up a little bit, to give breathers to key players that have put them in this position, because again there's a wonderful reception for the player coming off. Initially here it's going to be Cody Gakpo. It won't be the only change. Alexander-Arnold and Tsimikas I think will both come off as well, both fullbacks being changed. So Darwin Núñez will replace Gakpo in attack. Tsimikas is making his way to the touchline now. Andy Robertson will slot in at left back. That's not a bad change to be able to make it at this stage, and I think it will be Conor Bradley for Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right as well. Again, Andy just emphasising the position that Liverpool are in when they can make these changes at this stage and not necessarily weaken the side at all.
An embarrassment of riches, Phil. There's no other way to describe it. All three players going off have been absolutely outstanding so far tonight, and no rest for Leverkusen, because in the 10 minutes plus that remain of this game, these three will want to make a great impression. Patrick Schick eventually has come on for Leverkusen as well. We know he loves a great goal in UEFA club competition. He had a few of those on the way to the UEFA Europa League final last year.
Yeah, he's on. So is Nathan Teller. Double change for Leverkusen with 10 minutes plus whatever is added on after that still to play. But Liverpool leading Leverkusen by 2-0. Schick will take the place of Victor Boniface in attack. Straight swap that one up top as Radetzky is put under pressure inside his own 6-metre area. Down goes Nkapie. Just got a little nudge from behind from Salah, so the free kick will go in his favour. But for so long, really, certainly throughout the entirety of the first half, as we talked about, Leverkusen were Liverpool's equals. But the home side here have shown just what they are capable of and how quickly they are capable of it in matches that matter, like this one. So well versed in situations like this. Another hugely impressive performance in the Champions League. They're taking their time here. Not necessarily free choice over the free kick. It will be Pierre Nkapie that clears it away. Grimaldo going off, by the way, for Nathan Teller in that other Leverkusen change. Here is Nkapie picking up possession on the halfway line and advancing down the left-hand side. Patrick Schick involved for the first time, goes back in field to Florian Wirtz, and he will drift into a more central role. Right-footed shot, cannoned up really off McAllister as soon as he struck it there, Wirtz, and it took all the sting out of it. Comfortably gathered up by Kelleher. Liverpool have it back with Darwin Núñez. And now Alexis McAllister once more in the middle of the park, advancing here for Liverpool with options either side and picking the pass for Mo Salah. Corner of the penalty area, left-footed cross, bent in beautifully towards Luis Diaz, who will turn in the third goal for Liverpool. They're running away with it now. His second of the night. Took it smartly once more when it fell at his feet. Another brilliant ball in from Mo Salah, and Liverpool's winning start in the league phase will continue. Liverpool 3, Leverkusen 0.
And this has been such a statement in the second half from Liverpool. More great play from Mo Salah, as you said, and really the sang-froid from Luis Diaz. The ball dropped to him. It would have been easy to thrash at it, to try and hit it first time. Took his time, just waited for it to settle, and then placed it in the corner. It's a brilliant finish.
Two really good finishes tonight from Luis Diaz. Just slots it away with the right foot, having held off the defender. One touch just to cushion it down, might have brushed off Tapsoba on the way in as well, potentially, but Luis Diaz knew exactly what he was doing there. And so did Mo Salah in finding it with the quality of the cross. And Liverpool's quality really has shone through, and some, in this second half. And even a side like Leverkusen, famed for their powers of recovery, never knew last season when they were beaten. And of course they never were beaten until that Europa League final. Well, surely here at Anfield now, it will be their first such setback of this Champions League season, and Liverpool will reach the halfway stage of the league phase without dropping a point. It would be the most remarkable story. Xabi Alonso, Istanbul-esque and some, if Leverkusen were to rescue it from here. The cross in from Nkapie, but Darwin Núñez is there when Liverpool clear it his way, and he wriggles into space now, and he's got 4 in support of the attack. Liverpool are 5 on 4, still with Darwin Núñez, edge of the box, tried to slip it to his right for Szoboszlai, and it was cleared away by Nathan Teller. And Robert Andrich has it now for Leverkusen, the game getting stretched, but Liverpool are enjoying this, and they're not settling for 3. They're finding space, And it's turning into a really chastening experience for Xabi Alonso on his Anfield return for his Leverkusen side. 3-0, and it might have been more.
Both of last season's finalists have just scored almost at the same time. Real Madrid reducing the deficit at the Bernabeu. A very good finish from Antonio Rudiger.
Chance for Patrick Schick and for Florian Wirtz. Both saved. The first one by Kelleher. Wirtz almost able to force in the follow-up as well. And Leverkusen looking for something back right at the end. Back with Chris in a moment. Leverkusen still have it with Nkapie on the touchline. Real battle going on between he and Bradley. And Liverpool with a little bit of respite. They get the free kick.
So Rudiger has made it 3-2 to Milan. And Donyell Malen has come off the bench for Dortmund to put them ahead against Sturm Graz. Brilliant finish from the Dutchman. Dortmund 1, Sturm Graz 0.
Liverpool 3, Leverkusen 0. Liverpool have had chances to further extend their lead at the other end, but they needed Quiming Kelleher to make a smart save from Patrick Schick. Hasn't been on long, Andy. You thought he might have been on a little bit earlier. He gave us a glimpse of what he can do. Yeah,
he's made stuff happen there, and that's Patrick Schick for you. But you have to say, it's great play from Quiming Kelleher. I mean, he's had a very, very quiet half hour, but clearly excellent concentration from him to stay alert.
Here's Jonas Hoffmann for Leverkusen. They have it in and around the Liverpool penalty area just at the moment. Frimpong on that right-hand side. His cross blocked by Robertson, who stood his ground on the edge of the penalty area. And Liverpool, I think, are going to make another substitution. Put Gerald Quansah on for the last few minutes by the looks of things, but in the meantime Leverkusen still have it, and here's Andrich on the edge of the penalty area. Another good save by Kelleher, down smartly to his left. He's getting a lot busier all of a sudden, but Quiming Kelleher equal to that one as well to deny the well-struck shot from Robert Andrich.
Yeah, he's an occasional danger from outside the penalty area, Andrich. Normally quite spectacular. That was a low shot right in the corner. Kelleher got down so well there.
Kept really low right the way along the floor, didn't it? And it was heading for the corner, but for the goalkeeper's intervention. There will be a corner to come for Bayer Leverkusen here as we head towards the last 3 minutes of the 90 now. And it goes to the penalty area. Van Dijk rising to try and clear it. Returned menacingly, but over the top by Frimpong. Thrust his right boot at that. Still won't go in for Leverkusen. Liverpool 3, Leverkusen 0.
And it's still 3-1 to Milan because that goal from Rudiger has been disallowed. Semi-automated offside, had a look at it. And as the initial cross came in, which the goalkeeper then parried out to Rudiger, Rudiger was offside. Therefore, that goal has been chalked off. And Milan still have a 2-0 lead at the Bernabeu as we go into the final 10 minutes or so of all of the late matches. And Monaco have taken the lead in Italy. This would be a huge goal for them as they look to strengthen their position near the top of this new league phase table. And it's a corner kick which in the end is tucked home at the far post by one of their centre-halves and their captain. And that is a very big goal from Kehrer to make it Bologna 0, Monaco 1.
Liverpool 3, Leverkusen 0. Quansah for Konate, the latest Liverpool change that has just happened.
What an excellent night Ibrahima Konate has had. He played Boniface so well.
And that was reflected, wasn't it, in the reception that he got when he made his way off. Was a doubt, of course, after the injury picked up at the weekend, but past fit to continue. And what a game that he's had, Ibrahima Konate. Quansah on for the final few moments. Liverpool on the ball again. Mo Salah taking the pass from McAllister, trying to squeeze one goalwards. Nkapie was able to get the block in, and it will be brought clear by Nathan Tella, who's covered good ground actually for Leverkusen to almost reach halfway before the challenge came in from Szoboszlai. A couple of assists for Salah. He wants a goal of his own, doesn't he, tonight?
Yeah, he certainly does. I wonder if he would have been flagged offside in retrospect. He was just on the shoulder of the last defender, Pedro Nkapie, pretty close there. But it's been an excellent, excellent Mo Salah display in this second half.
He was desperately trying to hold that run, I think, wasn't he, and make sure he was still on. It was close, but ultimately academic. Last minute now of the 90. Virgil van Dijk on the ball, bringing it out from the back for Liverpool. And you certainly want this clean sheet as well to go with the 3 goals that they've scored. Not many teams do this, to Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso. Not the Anfield return that he would have been dreaming about.
Although they still love him.
Of course they do.
You can hear that chant in the background.
They still love him. He will still love this place as well. So many fond memories of his time here, his Champions League winning time here at Liverpool. This is Gravenberch fizzing it in, and over the top it goes from Robertson, arriving there round about the penalty spot on the less favoured right foot. It cleared the crossbar. It was a chance for him.
Yeah, it was a chance. I think the cross was almost a little bit too firm from him by Gravenberch. And again, we've just seen the adaptability of this Liverpool midfield in the second half. They've all had their turn bursting into the box. And really, it's one of those things that's been painted as a problem for Liverpool. It certainly looked like a problem in pre-season, that lack of what you might call a traditional number 6, that dedicated holding midfield. But actually, the flexibility that Liverpool are getting from their current midfield shows that maybe they did just the right thing by sticking with what they have.
Certainly seems that way right at the moment, doesn't it? They've hit some heights tonight, certainly. More defending to do just at the moment, though. Nathan Teller, we're going to 3 added minutes. At the end, it might break the way here of Florian Wirtz, nearly looking to make it 4 from 4 in the Champions League, but that's cleared away as it appeared to fall favourably at his feet initially. Nathan Teller has it back on the corner of the penalty area, combining here with Granit Xhaka, who has just got in behind, trying to cut that one back. Initially for Hoffmann, it then came for Andrić, not quite for Florian Wirtz. Jonathan Tah forward, down goes Hoffmann, no free kick forthcoming, and Liverpool counter with Darwin Núñez. Trying to get back to him is Tapsoba. Darwin Núñez still has it. He's into the penalty area now. On the right foot, slipped a little bit with a shot, but it breaks back into the path of the hat-trick hero Luis Diaz to score Liverpool's 4th before the finish. 4-0 in added time. Luis Diaz has 3 of them. A huge smile breaks out on the face of Arne Slot. This is everything he and Liverpool could have dreamed of tonight. 4 wins from 4 in the league phase. 4-0 at Anfield.
And if the finish will linger in the memory, well, I think you just have to look at how Liverpool won the ball back on the edge of their own penalty area. They're starting with Andy Robertson on Jonas Hoffmann, coming out pretty quickly to Darwin Núñez. His shot blocked with Luis Diaz following in. But really, Liverpool's hunger to carry on, to continue this excellence when the game has long since been won, really shows why they are one of the real contenders for this UEFA Champions League.
Relentless from the Reds, serving up a statement certainly here in the second half. This was 0-0 after an hour, and Liverpool have run away with it. Remarkable. 3 of the 4 goals scored by Luis Diaz, 2 wonderful finishes for the first couple, and that one was all about being in the right place really at the right time, after the shot from Darwin Núñez had deflected back into his path, and he did the rest instinctively, as he was always going to do, and continues this fine season that the Colombian has been having. 5 goals in the Premier League, hadn't scored in the Champions League this season until tonight, only his second start actually off this season's competition. One of those 2 changes that Arne Slot made to his team tonight. And Luis Diaz has stepped up to centre stage. And Liverpool really are sending out a statement, not just to Leverkusen in the way that they've dismantled them in this last half an hour, but to the rest of the Champions League contenders. This is a team that means business in this competition, and that is the full-time whistle. Well, it's a sobering return to Anfield for Xabi Alonso. His Leverkusen team have rarely been on the end of situations like this or scorelines like this during his tenure in charge. A hat-trick from Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo with the other one. 4 wins from 4 for the league phase leaders Liverpool. They've beaten Leverkusen by 4 goals to 0.
And no wonder, there are 50,000 happy fans and 11 very happy Liverpool players down there along with Arne Slot. What a performance in the second half. You can hear in the background now the noise from the Jose Alvalade in Lisbon. Last time out onto the pitch, and how about this for a final home game in charge? He's just beaten Pep Guardiola by 4 goals to 1, having gone behind. An amazing second half, and in a moment, I imagine, a fairly emotional goodbye. But Andy Brassel, that is an extraordinary performance from Sporting. It puts them in a wonderful position. They're also riding high on 10 points now. Viktor Gyökeres with a hat-trick. And tonight will feel very, very special for many reasons for Sporting. We can see actually a number of their supporters in the stands have been in tears throughout this game. This is how much this means to them.
Well, Ruben Amorim has completely transformed the club in the last 4.5 years. There's no doubt about that. And this is really the culmination of that. I think if we go back, 2.5 years, remember Manchester City winning in the knockout round in the last 16, 5-0 at Alvalade. And Ruben Amorim remembers that very well. He said yesterday he didn't need to remind his players of that. He said, I've only got 3 players still from then. So it shows how much things have changed, but it shows how much those 3 players who are still in the team have changed. He's been the architect of something really extraordinary here, and he leaves a very, very, very strong team behind him.
Hugging all of his players. It's a goodbye at home. Of course, he has one match to come this weekend at Brugge, where he was the former manager, of course, but they gave him a wonderful tifo to start, and in a moment I think they are going to applaud their hero on the pitch in terms of their manager shortly. Elsewhere it has finished. Borussia Dortmund have beaten Sturm Graz by 1-0, the late winner from Daniel Marlon. Lille 1, Juventus 1 into the last 10 seconds there. Celtic have beaten Leipzig. What a start they've made to this league phase. Monaco have won at Bologna. Diakera with the very late winner there. And Real Madrid are still 3-1 down at home to Milan. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. You can hear there Ruben Amorim and Viktor Gyökeres just exchanging a huge pat on the back between them. A hat-trick for the Swedish star, Andy, against Manchester City. Many people's favourites, I guess, to go deep into this competition. What does that